It's my birthday, baby! Okay, so I've been excited for months for this trip, and now I'm even more excited to be able to share it with you. Here we go. Hi everyone, I'm Jessica and I share bits of my life here in Portugal, navigating my 30s and building a new life in a new country. This time last year, in the few weeks before my birthday, I went through a really difficult breakup and lost a member of my family in the space of a few weeks. And I've genuinely just never really felt so broken. It definitely did not feel like a time to celebrate. So I was a little bit apprehensive about my birthday this year, but a few months ago, me and my best friend Kat decided that we would celebrate it together here in Portugal by visiting Porto and then the Douro Valley to stay in a wonderful hotel. If you watched my previous video, I did kind of hint at this part of the trip, but there was so much excitement and good times that I thought it deserved its own video. It was amazing, so come along to see. Woo, Porto, here we go! We started by saying goodbye to my one true love, Setúbal, and heading to Lisbon to get the train to Porto. We loved this train ride. We booked business class in advance and I think it was around 60 euros both ways, and it was just so spacious and comfortable. We were really excited to just relax and let ourselves be transported to Porto. Yay, we're in Porto! Yay. It's so beautiful! Whoop, whoop. Of course, the first thing I did, even before checking into the Airbnb, was to take Kat to try Francesinha, which is a Portuguese sandwich originally from Porto, made with layers of toasted bread and assorted hot meats like steak and ham, and then they place sliced cheese over and then ladle hot tomato and beer sauce, I think called molho de Francesinha. Sometimes you have an egg too. And to try this, we went to a restaurant called Vaccarum and it was delicious. It was as good as when I tried it in November, and Kat really loved it too. How excited are you on a scale of 1 to 10?
12. 20. I literally cannot wait for this to be inside my belly.
Yay! It's quite a heavy meal, but honestly, we were starving hungry and this just hit the spot. I would love to know though, do you have a favorite spot for Francesinha, or do you have another Portuguese favorite that you could recommend? Comment below. Before checking into our Airbnb, we went for a quick coffee at the most beautiful, relaxing coffee spot, and honestly, it felt like we were in a movie.
Yeah, actually.
And then we checked into our Airbnb, and wow, let me tell you, the Airbnb, I have stayed in a lot of Airbnbs in my time, and this one just felt really special. Okay, so we just arrived at our Airbnb in Porto. It is absolutely incredible. They have taken so much time and attention to detail. And the guy who owns the building and owns the Airbnb kind of talked us through how he'd designed everything. He's an architect, so he's really thought about how everything works. And they've gone out of their way to find original features and things to like decorate the apartment with. It's all so beautiful. Look at it. This is the kitchen. And look at the view from the kitchen. Is this not the most incredible view of Porto you've ever seen? Oh my goodness. We're very, very lucky to be here. This is a very special birthday trip for me. So I'm really excited to go and explore Porto and have this amazing space to be part of the little journey that we're on. The owner of the building, husband and wife from Portugal, architect and artist, they have kind of transformed this previously abandoned building and made it into something perfect, like combining old Portuguese charm and beautifully styled interior design, and the views over the Douro River were honestly incredible. It's one of the most peaceful, tranquil places that I've stayed, and the kitchen was basically my dream kitchen with kind of preserved Portuguese tiles and views over the river. After we checked in and finished drooling over the interior design, we headed to a little antique store that I passed every day when I was in Porto performing in the theatre in November. You can watch that crazy experience here. But I never got time to go and have a browse in November, and I was super excited to look around, especially with Kat, because me and Kat both love really like old, unique, vintagey things, and we love a bargain hunt, so we had a really fun time kind of looking through everything. And I got so many cute little things, including this really cute little chrome pepper shaker. Kat actually found this for me and I thought it would be perfect in my apartment. And then I got this little chicken egg cup, which I just love. Probably will never use it as an egg cup, but look how cute it is. So perfect. It's really weighty as well, which I kind of like. It's kind of nice sitting on top of books. And then I bought this wooden vase, which I found and I wasn't sure about, but I'm so glad that I got it because I love this dark color. It really adds something to my apartment. I also got two beautiful twin lamps and I was just really happy with my little haul. I am still slowly furnishing my apartment, and so they don't really have the perfect place yet, like a shelf to be displayed, but I'm hoping soon that I will have that and they will look great and add something special. After this, we headed to the city centre and went to Mercado do Bolhão, which is a famous historic fresh produce market in the centre of Porto. It opened in 1914 and I believe it was kind of fully restored in 2022. It has a large open air central courtyard surrounded by kind of traditional stores selling things like fish, meat, flowers, vegetables, and also loads of beautiful like gifts or goods. Once again, and as is a theme when me and Kat are together, we were starving and I had booked a dinner restaurant that I saw pop up on Instagram actually before we went. It was a fusion restaurant called Grottu and the interior was super interesting, like plaster cast angels and statues with a sort of Roman Greek statue history vibe. And to be honest, we were at first really confused by the menu. It is a little unclear, I think, what the concept is, but when we did order, the food was really good and the atmosphere was super fun. Unexpectedly, after about 30 minutes into the meal, a man just burst into song and it was so good and we were all singing along, and his vibe and his energy was just really fun, and overall we just had a really nice time here. Hello, good morning. We are just waking up in Porto and we are heading down by the river next to this lovely bridge. And we're going to find somewhere to go and have a little drink and maybe a pastry. We slept super well. It was very loud with seagulls in the morning. They were like a little alarm, but the Airbnb is so comfortable, so sleeping was super nice. And today we're going to have a very chill day. We're going to Livraria Lello, which I've never been to, which is so exciting. And apparently you can exchange the entry fee for a book, which is amazing. So I'm going to buy a book. And then we're gonna head to the shops, I think, aren't we, for some clothes shopping, and yeah, generally just have a very chill day because we've had some very busy times. And then yeah, have a nice rest this evening before we head tomorrow to the Douro Valley for a hotel. The next day we started with a little walk down by the river and then had a coffee before heading to Livraria Lello, which is a historic and world famous bookstore in Porto. I was so excited for this. It is super cool. It opened in 1906 and is kind of celebrated for its neo-Gothic architecture. Has this like crimson red staircase and really beautifully carved wooden shelves and like stained glass ceiling right at the top. And I really wanted to go here but didn't have time in November, so it was really fun to visit and share that experience with Kat too. The interior is beautiful. It is very busy, so you need to buy a ticket in advance, and at points it felt a little bit claustrophobic. It was kind of hard to just enjoy browsing the books because there were so many people there. But I did end up buying 4. Yes, these 4 whole books. Even though I mostly read on my Kindle, I am planning to do some more kind of analog days or days where I'm not so much on technology, which I'm really looking forward to. And I'm planning to film it and share it here, so watch this space for that. But before I dive in, I would love to know your favourite books Please comment below. It's so intriguing to me what people's favourites are. So the bookshop has limited edition books created especially for the library that you can redeem your ticket price when you buy one, which I think is a really cool system. Definitely encourages you to buy their books. I bought their Livraria Lello copy of 1984 by George Orwell, which is my favourite book. I have quite a few different copies of this, not here in Portugal, but at home. And I just love dystopian anything. And this was probably the first dystopian novel that I read a very, very long time ago, and it really changed how I think about things and just got me completely obsessed with that kind of genre of books. So I am looking forward to rereading it because it has been a while. And is this not just so beautiful? This kind of purple, pink, and this is, you can see it has the mark here, the Livraria Lello mark, which means it's a limited edition print for them. Can't really find it anywhere else. It's just so pleasing. I can't wait. Can't wait to read this one. And then I bought a book called Portuguese Legends, which at first I thought said leg ends because it kind of says this on the cover. And apparently this features 70 traditional Portuguese tales from all across Portugal, and I'm really excited to read this. Then I also bought this limited edition novel called Korean Gems by Portuguese author Mintwater Bear. Apparently this explores themes of identity, human connection, and medical history through kind of an interesting, quirky narrative style. And it seems like it might be quite an interesting read. I did actually start reading this when we were enjoying the view from one of the most beautiful gardens in Porto. And I just loved this quote. "My motto is Astra Inclinant, sed non obligant," which translates as, "The stars guide us, but do not bind us. Read what's written in the stars, but don't plagiarize. Write your own story. Take the reins of your own fate, regardless of anything or anyone." And I just thought this was a really on-point quote. I've had a whole history of going very deep into the quote-unquote spiritual space, and I've got very lost in systems of understanding like astrology, especially human design. And I noticed that sometimes people in those spaces, including me at points, really kind of do plagiarize or cling tightly to what that system has told them about themselves, so much so that they forget that they also have loads of freedom over their choices and life path, and that we can kind of make those decisions for ourselves. We can decide who we are. And I love the idea that we could trust in the stars, trust in there being something that guides us, but also have full autonomy over our lives. And finally, I picked up this cute tiny book because I felt like it would be really easy to pop into my bag for my analog days. It is called Simão and Teresa, Love of Perdition, and I believe it is a Portuguese book translated into English about a couple, lovers. We will see what that's like. Okay, so we have just finished brunch at the most beautiful little cafe, and we've done a short little walk. It was only about 15 minutes actually to the nearest park. I have actually forgotten the name of the park, but I'll write it here. And it is stunning. The views are so nice, and we're doing a little bit of reading of our new books that we bought in the library. And this is the view. Look, oh, I was just saying that if I lived somewhere like Porto, this would be a place that I would just come every single day. It's so beautiful, and the wind is so nice. Actually, when I was here in November, it was so cold. So I'm really happy that it's nice and warm. We can just sit and enjoy the sun and read a book. And I think later we're just going to chill, do a bit of clothes shopping, and then, yeah, head to the Douro Valley tomorrow, like we said before. Can't wait. After the library, we went for a super delicious brunch at a place called Época and really enjoyed the food and atmosphere here. I would definitely go back if I was in Porto again. Also, I just love breakfast and brunch food. So this was perfect for filling us up after we'd built up an appetite browsing and buying books. The next morning was our last morning in Porto before we headed to the Douro Valley. So we headed for breakfast at a super cute little cafe with a beautiful view of the city. The breakfast here was super simple but really delicious, and we really enjoyed just resting here for a little while. Of course, we couldn't leave without getting a pastel de nata for the road, so we went to a place called Castro, and even though I'm pretty loyal to pastéis de Belém, these were a very close second, and my second favourite so far. Then then we got ourselves an Uber and were on the way to check into our beautiful hotel, the Octant Douro, for my birthday. We headed straight to the terrace hall and ordered a little light lunch before exploring the rest of the hotel and finding all of the beautiful little nooks that they've created that you can just rest in and enjoy the view of the river from. Okay, so we have arrived in the hotel and it is incredible. This is our view from our room. Wow. Amazing. I'm actually really impressed with how this is. I think the room is a lot nicer. I'll show you a little bit than I expected it to be. I think this is a really, really good choice. I cannot believe this is the view from the room, and I'm so excited to explore the hotel, go to the pool, and tomorrow is going to be my birthday, so I've got lots of things planned.
Hoje o céu veio cedo com balões no meu quintal. Teus risos na mesa brilham mais que o cristal. Tem caldo, tem abraço, tem foto pra guardar. E eu olho pra vocês e só quero brindar. Vai passando a roda, mão no ar, meu bem. Se a vida dá volta.
We then went to dinner at one of the restaurants in the hotel, which is called Terra, and the food was divine. We were very content and satisfied before heading to bed, ready for the big day, my birthday. If you don't know by now, I'm a Leo, and I feel like something about Leos just means that we care extra special amounts about our birthdays being special. And so I was super excited to wake up at this beautiful place on my birthday. Okay, it's birthday eve and we are celebrating by doing a huge photo shoot around the hotel. Look at the hotel and look at the view we are looking at. All over the Douro River and in this lovely pool. We're having the best time ever. Yeah. We had dinner at one of the restaurants tonight at Terra, and it was beautiful, wasn't it? Like the food was... We're going to go again for lunch tomorrow.
Can't wait.
Special. Yeah. And tomorrow we're going to go maybe paddle boarding on this river, depending on the weather and the water. And then we're going to go to...
Boats.
We're going on a boat trip. Yeah, the Mandalay here. And then after that we are going to just spa all afternoon. We're going to have a massage and just generally feel really pampered. Really looking forward to it.
Walking, shoes off, cold tile, warm air. Your name on a rope tag, lemon water there, diffuse gold.
I also think this is a good time though to maybe talk about some of the sensitive stuff around birthdays. For me, birthdays have always been a little bit difficult, and I think for many people actually, whether they're aware of it or not, it can be a time that is just a bit challenging. It's a time where we take stock of life, and I guess to some extent we kind of automatically compare where we are now with where we imagined we would be or where other people are by that age. And there is a sense of aging and mortality, but there also can be expectations which make us really vulnerable. For me, I have this kind of implicit expectation that today is my birthday, I'm supposed to feel special and happy, which then makes me kind of sensitive to anything that doesn't make me feel that way. And actually it can kind of be a mini, unplanned, unwilling, unasked for social audit. Like, who remembers your birthday? Who reaches out? Does anyone make an effort? And a relatively ordinary day then starts to feel like kind of evidence about how much other people care about you, which is obviously not always true. I think generally as well, we might be a bit more likely to notice on our birthday the absence of people. So people we care about, family, friends, and ex who you used to celebrate with. And this is, I think, one of the reasons birthdays can sometimes feel a bit lonely, even when you're doing something that actually is quite fulfilling. And on top of this, if birthdays growing up involved any neglect, family conflict, disappointment, unpredictability, or maybe even feeling overlooked, I think birthdays in adulthood then kind of carry some of that emotional association, even if we're not aware of it. On the other hand, someone who has had very meaningful birthdays might struggle when adulthood doesn't actually recreate those birthdays. So basically, birthdays are just hard sometimes for us humans, and always for me personally. But I'd love to know, how do you find your birthday? What do you like to do for your birthday? I find these little differences and similarities between us really interesting, so please feel free to comment and share your experience below. I have also learned that over time, planning my day with lots of the things that I love most with people that I love is the best way to mediate this sensitive birthday feeling a little bit. And so so I was just really excited to spend this time with my best friend in a new and exciting place. So on my birthday, we woke up and went to have breakfast. This is my #1 favorite thing to do in the world. Having a hotel breakfast at a really good hotel is like 10 out of 10, great. Here, they also had the most amazing selection in the breakfast buffet, but you could also order freshly made eggs, which was so nice because I just love this. And then it was time for my birthday boat ride, which was so relaxing. It was due to rain on my birthday, which I was very upset about because I love the sun and I've just moved to Portugal and it's August and it should be hot. But it held out all day, and so the weather was really super lovely for the boat trip, and we got to kind of cruise along the river and just enjoy the sights. And a few of my friends rang me to say happy birthday at the same time, and it was just really special. Then we celebrated with a delicious cake made by the hotel and candles courtesy of my bestie, and I made a secret wish for this year, which maybe I'll tell you what it was next year. We spent some time in the beautiful spa before heading to dinner at the other restaurant in the hotel, which is a Michelin Guide recommended restaurant, I believe, and honestly, it was one of the best meals I've ever had. The flavors, the textures, the presentation were all so beautiful. Me and my friend are both foodies, and Kat is actually a chef and has her own Instagram and YouTube where she makes delicious food, and so it was super inspiring for us both to try and figure out how they had made the dishes, how they created these really intricate, amazing, unique flavor combinations, and it was just the perfect end to a perfect birthday day. The day after, we went for a little dip by the pool before checking out and heading home to Setúbal. I was so grateful to be able to spend such a magical few days away with my best friend for my birthday, and just so grateful that we are both in positions where we can do amazing trips and experiences like this together. And I'm excited to see what 32 brings me. I'd love to know, what is your favorite way to spend your birthday? Are you someone who loves your birthday, who doesn't like it, who doesn't even think about whether they like it? Please comment below. I read all of the comments and really enjoy hearing your experiences. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more of my journey. Thank you so much for watching and sending so much love to you.